All right. So everything is up and running. We are now streaming, and I'd like to welcome my test subjects. I guess you can say this is. I got a group of three players who are here wanting to give 2D20 Conan a try, and so I created a little bit of a one shot for everyone to get some practice on and hopefully get more people involved in 2D20 Conan because I think it's a good system, and hopefully I can get some people hooked. Always looking for new players. Anyway, we have what I'm going to do. I am going to just get very quickly. I'll ask each of the players just to say who they are and who they're playing, and um, you can just come up with any type of background you want, whatever you want. It's all easy. So we'll start with Inbatha. Who's Inbatha?
My name is Jim. I'm playing in Bata. She is a Sumerian herder, hunter, and looks like she is a ranged character. So I think she uses a bow. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep. That's her preferred way.
And what kind else can I tell you about her? She's wrathful, and she's been scarred by a savage beast.
I like it. Well done. All right. What about Gavril?
Hi, I'm Harbinger, and I'm playing Gavril, and basically he is your mercenary for hire. If you have the coin, then you have his sword. Just don't lose your coin along the way. That's about it.
All right. Perfect. Thanks.
All he doesn't need a reason. He just needs to be paid.
And Vidimir. Oh,
Right,
he's
I'm Bill. I'm playing Vitamir, the nomad. He's a bit of a youngster. He's only a mere 17. Um, he um, he doesn't appear to have much equipment, so I imagine he's going to be a loincloth type guy. He's got a good beard actually, considering he's only 17. He's a righteous type guy. He's a bit wrathful. Educated on the battlefield though, so I think he's a bit of a practical kind of guy. Um, Speaks Ranastani, Hyperborean. So like, what else can I do?
and likes long walks on the beach.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, good sense of humour. He's got a good sense of humour.
All right. Well, guys, this is a one shot, so this is I got it set up so you guys can pretty much directly involved in the game and slowly figure it out as things go. And over the next little bit, it's if you suddenly have to leave or only got so much time, that's fine. I'll get it started pretty quick. So there's no conclusion to this other than getting yourselves killed. So as long as you stay alive, the game will keep going. Pretty much that's the best way to put it.
Sounds like fun.
Don't be afraid to take risks, guys. That's how you learn.
Charge.
So I'm going to start this game off by describing you guys are in a small cell, and it's a dark and dingy cell. There is a ruckus in the background, as if people cheering and growling in the background, and a lot of sand and dirt is coming down from the thunderous noise of the cheering and the sounds. And in front of you, in this cell that you're in, there is a large rack of weapons, and beyond the weapons there is a gate. And through this gate, you can see a large field, a large sandy field. Looks like an arena, and you can hear people cheering and yelling, and you can hear the occasional slashing of blades in the background. Now, I only see two people connected to the sound room here, so we're missing a player in the sound room.
That might be me.
All right. So I will.
This whole time, what I've been wanting to say: fight.
So I will I'll put it. You got the link there? You want me to put the link in the
Am I
room?
connected now?
Prison brawl.
Let's see. Not yet. Nope.
Okay, so I've just pressed start broadcast.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
You might have to adjust the volume like he was talking about in your mixer. Web content
Oh shoot!
or your web browser, you'll have to lower the volume if it starts out too loud.
Actually, it tells me here connected player 0, so I'm probably on the wrong. Is there another screen?
I'm going to. I just ended up closing off my sound pad, so I'm only learning here. So I'm going to put a new link into the chat window again.
So you need all of us or just him?
I'll need everyone again to log on to it.
Okay, because I'm still hearing it, so I guess I should close it down.
Oh, I guess you should. That's interesting to know.
I didn't. I just clicked on that the big long link that you've shared, and it's just I didn't have to click on anything in the in tabletop audio. It just connected me straight away. So
Okay, I see the 3 players.
Yep, I got it
Yay.
back again. I think it was still the same server, even though you stopped it and started it.
Oh,
Still
really?
left
Okay.
me connected.
Okay, cool.
Because it's got me right back in the exact same place here in the same thing.
Perfect.
Yep, I can hear it.
Excellent. Excellent. And on occasion, you hear an occasional, like a big cheer and a yell, and you know, and when that happens, it's like in a big applaud, and more sand and dirt falls down on your head from the dust and the dirt above you, apparently from the rafters. So, what do you guys want to do? You see a big weapons rack. You 3 people are facing each other. You guys are just wearing your basic cloth clothing. You have no armor, but like I said, you see a rack of weapons in front of you, and this rack also contains one one full suit of armor in individual pieces. So there's one arm, there's 2 arm pieces, there's 1 chest piece, 1 helmet, and 2 sets of legs.
okay, and there's weapons there as well. Did you say?
Correct.
Alright,
And
just looking at.
go ahead.
I'll start putting on some armor.
I'm going to grab a bow and a quiver full of arrows.
Well, you don't see a bow, nor do you see a quiver full of arrows.
You said there was
Crap.
armor, though, right?
There is armor. There is a full set of armor there.
I put on the armor and I grab a sword or dagger or whatever there is for an edged weapon.
Well, on the rack,
Spear or whatever.
you see several weapons, and what the weapons are. Let me bring it up. On the rack, you see a broadsword, 2 short swords, a battle axe.
Take the broadsword.
You're taking a broadsword?
Yep.
So there, Gavril. So I will add that to your character sheet.
I'm a mercenary. That's something I would be used to using. It would be natural for me.
I'm grabbing 2 short swords. Is there a dual wielding feature in this game?
There is, yep. Oh, just 1 second, guys. I just gotta step away 1 second. Hold on.
Okay, sure.
Fair warning, whoever grabs the axe, make sure your strength's good. Well, a little bit, I know. I think that one has a requirement or something. But it is nasty. Actually,
Strength is like brawn
look
in
under,
this game.
click on the item, see if he's got it open where we can look. Nope, he doesn't got it open where we can look at it. Maybe under libraries. Let's see if it'll let us open it. Nope, he doesn't have it where we can see it. Never mind. I was gonna say you could take a look and get an idea of the weapon you have in your hand, except he still hasn't opened it up to us to be able to look at that stuff.
Oh, you might just need to open at the library. I'm just having a look in the items. I think they are.
Oh, you did get it to work? I couldn't get it to work. Oh, okay. There it
Oh,
is.
he shared it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's cool. All right. Um, so looking at my skills here,
Okay.
I've got melee skill. What does that cover as the sort of specific skills for individual weapon styles? Or
Well, melee is anything that you swing with. So it covers everything. It's a very broad thing. So that covers fighting with hand to hand, fighting with weapons. Ranged weapon is obviously for anything that you throw or that you shoot.
all right. So there's all right. I'm gonna go spear then. I think.
I'd also like to grab a shield to go with my sword. Maybe either the tower shield or the spike shield.
Okay, so what I'll do, I'll start with Imbatha. And Imbatha, what would you like to have?
I'm going to grab 2 short swords. You said there were 2, no?
Oh, yeah, there's supposed to be 2 there. All right, and I'm going to go to Gavril. Now, Gavril, what would you like to have? Harbinger, you there?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
The name still didn't ring well.
Sorry.
All right, I've already got the broadsword. I'd also like. I'll take the tower shield, please.
The Tower Shield. Okay. And Vidimir, what would you like to have?
I'm gonna go with the spear. I think spear and shield. There's just another shield left. Spike shield.
Okay.
But I don't seem to be able to drag and drop them to my character. I don't.
He's got them locked.
Yeah, I got
He'll
him
do it
locked
for
out.
us.
Okay. That's great. So now, as for the armor, there's enough armor pieces to do one full set. And the armor is just a ragged old chain armor, but it provides a soak of 2. So, do you guys want to share up the individual pieces, or do you want one person to wear all the armor? What would you like?
Now, hold on a second. In the past, I'm assuming our characters have seen a gladiatorial go down in the past. Since we're on the same side of the gate, we're going to start out on a team together, probably, right?
Yes, that's a very good assumption.
Okay. All right, guys. I say this is my opinion, so interject if you disagree or if you like it. I would think somebody take the pair of legs. Might as well have both legs. Somebody take a pair of arms. Somebody take the chest. Either that, or you put one guy in all the armor and you make him take the hardest opponent on, and everybody else just helps him drop them as quick as possible. And then we just whittle our way through their team that way. So,
Well,
in other words, you
I think the
guard
latter.
the champion and you make the champion your tank.
Yep, that's what we should
I-
do.
Yeah, I agree. I think having a tank is a good idea,
Right,
and
like a
I'm not
party
that fussed
tank.
about the armor because yeah.
Okay, my melee is. Look at your melees, guys. My melee is an 11-2. That's not bad. It's not great. It's kind of mediocre. Well, in my opinion, I'm basing it off a bias of a really high melee on another character. Parry is almost exactly the same. My parry is the same. Wow. All right, my guy is a pretty good tank. Anyway, go ahead. What does everybody else have for melee and parry? Those are the 2 most important, right off the bat.
I have 11/3, so I guess 3 is the focus. Is that right?
Yeah, 3's a little bit better. Means you have a better chance of getting effects. On both of them or just one?
Parry is 13/2.
Okay, you're already looking better. What's your vigor? Up there in the top.
10.
Ooh, that's not good though.
Pretty weedy.
Yeah, I was about to say you'd be good at the skill, but man, once you start taking hits, you're not going to be able to take somebody. What about the
No,
next person?
I'm a huntress, so I'm good from long distances.
Yeah, I want to grab the spears then.
I've
I don't
got
know. What do you got?
my melee is 13-4, so that's
Oh
pretty
shit!
good.
Yeah, that's real good. Okay, you're gonna.
I
be
guess you're our tank.
probably then. What's
Well,
your vigor at?
My
Please
parry's
say your
12.
vigor's not 5 or something.
It's 11. So it doesn't sound that good. So I don't know whether you might be better being attacked. What's your vigor?
My vigor's at 13. My wounds are 5. So I've got the
Right.
highest vigor. I'm assuming I don't know if I've got the highest wounds or not.
Well,
Usually it's
everyone's got
higher
5
vigor.
wounds. Everyone can take 5
Okay.
wounds.
Vigor of 13 is not that much difference than a vigor of 11. I mean that's like one dagger stab, difference. So I personally think your what was it 13-4 is pretty freaking awesome. I think maybe we should stack you up.
Okay.
What
My
what weapon
parry's
did you
only
choose?
12-3.
What weapon did you choose? A spear and shield, right?
Yeah, I was going to go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good because then you should have reach. I think. Take the spear should have a reach of like 3, and the shield will help you soak damage. Plus the armor gonna soak a 2. Yeah, let's just deck you up, and you're gonna have to be the guy that basically you're gonna be in front taking the blows, and we're gonna try to stab anybody who wastes their attacks on your armor. We're gonna turn around and stick the shit out of them. So me and the other guy are gonna concentrate on one person, and you're gonna try to hold down 1 or 2. Does that make sense?
Rock and
It
roll.
sounds
Okay,
like a
let's do
plan.
it.
I mean, you're gonna have all the armor. You're gonna take most of the damage. They're gonna see you as a threat, and they're gonna go after you. And we're gonna try to get them behind and pick them off one at a time, and then hopefully we'll whittle them down fast 2 against 1 with, and they'll only have piecemeal armor, so the chances they'll be able to block our swings very effectively are gonna go down dramatically.
I get it. I'm the bait. Okay, no problem.
Cannon fodder.
Just get against the wall and keep your back covered, man. You got a shield,
I got this.
and
Don't
we'll
worry.
stay
I
on
got
the
this.
other side of you and keep them from flanking you.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good.
You make a
I-
persuasive argument.
Well, either that, or if there's a pole in the middle somewhere, get the pole to your back to where they can't flank. You just don't want people on your back.
All right,
And
so
we'll try to keep the third one off of you.
to me it sounds like who Imbatha is going to be the no or Vitamir is going to be the tank.
Vidimir, he's
Vidimir.
got the best melee parry, and he's got a half decent vigor, almost as good as mine.
All right, so you're taking all the armor. Am I doing that right?
Yeah, spear and shield, all armor.
All right. So in your character sheet, I'm going to start making the changes. If you look on your character sheet, you're going to see armor, and it's like 0, 1 to 2 head. It's all listed in the hit. This is your hit chart. Now, I have an automatic table that tells me that we can roll on, but for quick reference, what I do, I just make the changes, and or you can make the changes. But the number in the brackets is the soak. So if that area gets hit, it reduces whatever damage you got taken by 2.
Okay. So what's the soaps I need to do then?
Say again?
Oh, right, have you put them in?
Yeah, I'm putting them in for you there now.
Now I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have a 2 on all your categories, and we're gonna have a 0 on all of ours. So we're gonna get chewed up if you let them attack us a lot, but you should be able to hold out for a little longer. I'm assuming the other team isn't gonna be as compromising, so that means we need to work together really well. Most people
Well-
are a grab for themselves, so you'll see either one guy who's beat up all his other guys and he's got everything, or you'll see them all half mashed where they've split their stuff all over the place.
Well, I feel really guilty now, but yeah, let's do it.
You
Just
won't
stay
feel
alive,
good when
man. You
everyone
drop
starts
and you're gonna
wailing
make this
and-
whole plan go to poo.
All right. Oh no, you don't realise my dice rolls and what you're doing, guys. This is like there are fumbles in this, are there?
Well, there's going to be. There's always fumbles.
It's, lovely.
Okay, you have a spear, man, so you do really good against people with swords and daggers and stuff like that, because you're going to make it very hard for them to hit you and easier for you to hit them, if I remember the way this game works.
Correct.
But other spear people, you're going to be on equal footing, in which case when you do see something like that and you have to engage them, we'll probably need to help bail you out. So if they have another spear guy, let's try to make him either the last target or the first target. I mean, whichever we want to do it, but we need to do it quick, because the spear guy will be hard for you, to be honest, because he's going to be equal footing with you for reach. Do you understand what I mean by reach? The
Yeah.
distance?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So just to let everybody know, if you look on your character sheets and down at the weapons that I've added in the damage roll section, to read it better, if you click on the green shield icon, it'll come up, and in the title itself, it'll say, say for example, a spear or a weapon. It'll say, um, oh, and the spear is the wrong one, of course. Should have an R in front of it. But you should see something like R2 or R3 or R1, and that means you reach 1 to reach 3.
Got it.
All right. If it's
The
a
spear
ranged weapon, it'll just say RC, and that means range close. RM is range medium or whatnot.
Okay. What's the CD thing on the spear?
That's your damage dice that you roll. That's the base damage. So, like for example, a spear has 4 dice damage. Now, if you have high brawn, it adds to it. So, if you have like a +2 damage to your melee, you can change that in the dice string. You can change that 4d6 to a 6d6 if you want.
So I've got +2 damage to melee in my bonuses. Does that mean that should be a 66 then?
Correct.
In my
Yep.
spear?
That's right.
Okay, I'll just change that.
Because people can put it in and just have it all calculated at once, or if you were going to, if you didn't want to, you can always put like your dice damage, your damage dice are affected by the modifier, so you can add a 2 to it, and it'll always add 2 to your damage using the modifier box. But
Okay.
okay, so yeah, so everyone feel properly kitted out now.
No, but that doesn't mean anything in this situation. It was self-inflicted.
Okay.
I've got my loincloth, like we said earlier about Conan, man. We're ready. Let's do it. No, 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 no. You start down there.
No, 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 I do not. I saw you move it, by the way. Don't worry. I saw that move earlier in the game. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. Okay, great. So as you guys are putting on your final piece of armor, and obviously Vidimir now, he's completely kitted up. He just grabbed all the armor, this old type of chainmail type of thing that's on, and he's looking, although ragged, he looks very well protected, while the rest of you guys are wearing your loincloths and your little raggedy old your
Oh,
raggedy
you know what?
old clothes,
I'm gonna
right?
grab that extra shield and I'm gonna tie it to my back, or have the other guy tie it to my back. You never know, man.
So how are you gonna tie it to your back?
With my loincloth. I don't care if my junk's hanging out. I'll hang it around my damn neck. I just want some coverage. Hell, I'll put it on my chest. Yeah, that'll work.
Well, you'll use every extra scrap of loincloth to tie that onto your back. Seriously, though,
Yeah,
is that something that you want to do?
Yeah, if anybody else has a problem with it, I'll use their loincloth too to help. And I got a sword to make my point work. Dude, this is Conan, man. You take everything you can find and make use of it.
I will allow that. So you're going to get a shield for that, right?
Yep.
So because of that, I'm going to what you're doing. I'm giving that sword the fragile quality.
Oh.
Because obviously you just got it tied onto your back with whatever little bit of strips of leather that you got attached. And
Okay, that makes sense. So it'll fall off if it gets beat up too bad.
exactly.
But hey, man, I'll make it soak the first hit. Dude, if any of y'all can find another way to grab a second spear to freaking walk in with, even if all you're gonna do is walk in and then plant it in the ground right beside you, I would, dude. Matter of fact, if there's this free spear, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grab a second spear and carry it in, and I'm gonna plant it in the ground right beside me and get ready to throw that sucker at somebody.
Spears are throwable weapons.
Spears.
They should be.
Is that
This particular
does that
spear is
count
not
as ranged?
It is a ranged weapon. It can be. It's not designed. This actual spears aren't designed for throwing. They're designed for melee.
I know that in real life, yeah.
But yes,
that's
you
why
can
he's
throw it.
asking.
It just adds to its.
It'll be harder,
yeah.
but it's still better than just standing there taking one for the team.
In that case, give me the spear. I'm pretty good with throwing things.
All right, I'll do that. Yeah, walk. Even
So-
though you have your daggers, walk out there with the spear, have it ready, throw it at the first mumbo jumbo who walks out, right in the chest. You know.
Now,
So
Then
my
you go
plan is
pick
to-
up your-
Vidimir has the only spear. So does Vidimir want to give up the?
Oh, I thought there were two.
No,
Yeah,
as
there
well-
was two.
no,
Yeah,
there-
there was. There was another one on the list after you gave him his. Ah.
There was only ever
Hey, my
one.
inventory says there's one on my back: a sling, a spear, barbed, and mail. Obviously, that's a mistake. You forgot to delete that stuff
Oh, I
and a
must
battle
have.
axe.
I must
You
have.
should have made a sling out of your loincloth.
That's actually not a bad idea. I can throw your rocks too while I'm at it. No, okay. So there was a battle axe, and what else was there that was still? Can you put back out the list? I dropped it. Sorry. There is another spear there.
No, no.
Spear,
The numbers in front of it is what you see, right?
number one.
Yeah, that's right. So there's one shield, one
Oh, okay.
spear,
So there's only one.
one battle
Okay, gotcha.
axe. Yep.
So basically, we got a battle axe and one. Nope. That's it. The battle axe is the only thing left over now
Correct.
because I
Yep.
grabbed the last shield.
That's right.
Okay. Um, I don't know, man. You might still want to bring a battle axe out and just lay it down at your feet to have a backup weapon in case something goes wrong. Or I guess
It's a bit
I
too
don't know.
unwieldy for me.
It's just a one. Yeah, because a battle axe is unbalanced, and Botha's skill strength is only 8. So
Okay. I think you got to have
Are there
what,
any
12 or something, or 9 or something higher.
yeah, it's a two-handed weapon for Mbatha if she was to use it.
Now, I can use it
are there
one-handed,
any
right?
Go,
With a
go ahead.
baton of 12.
You
Go ahead,
anyone can
Info.
use any weapon at all. It just it determines if it's going to be a two-handed or a one-handed weapon.
Is brawn strength?
Brawn is
Yes.
your strength. Yep.
any rocks or broken masonry or whatever in the cell?
Pebbles,
There's
basically.
nah, not really. It's pretty well maintained on the inside, except for the occasional lump of muddy old, muddy, bloody, smelly sand left
Nothing
over.
that can be
Something on the
used
way
to
up.
throw?
N-
Okay, well, I'll keep my
no,
eyes peeled. Second question, uh, is there a possibility of dual wielding in this game?
yes, absolutely.
Minimum requirements or anything like that, or
The
can
way
we
dual
just assume that
wielding,
we do it?
the way dual wielding works is if you have a weapon in each hand, if you have enough momentum, you can make a swift action. And if it's a different weapon from a different hand, you're able to attack with one less momentum. So a swift action costs you one less because you have two hands. You know what I mean? So depending on
Right.
how well you roll, depends on how easy it is for you to dual wield.
Okay, so otherwise it
Anybody can
just
do
counts
it, but
the
it's not always guaranteed you'll be good at it.
right,
Yeah,
and otherwise it just counts as a one-handed attack if I don't
exactly.
have enough momentum.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So no reason not to have another one.
just why not? Now you think about how you're kind of got it all carried on to you. You kind of got it put in between in the G string slash thong that you guys are all wearing your loincloths.
Oh
You know,
no,
it's
no, you've got it mistaken. Our mule is right there with the armor. You just attach your extra weapon on his back, and then you take it off right as we get inside.
Vitamir's all going to be loaded down. He's like barely
Yeah,
able to
he's
move.
just hauling in the battle axe on his back, and right when we get in and before we start, we just pull it off his back and put it on the ground. So we have it available, but it's I'd rather have the weapon out there to use than back in the cage.
Sounds good.
Besides, if they want to use my axe, they got to come through Valdemar to get it. And that'll be a mistake.
So I'm gonna Harbinger. I'm gonna get you to do me a favor first. I did something just before the game started. I made some changes in your damage rolls. I want you to click the shield for your broadsword, and that opens up. Do you see the stats for forgiving and parrying there? The green shields. Do you see them in your?
Yep.
If you click on it, are you able to open it?
It's telling me the module. Well, it's saying the module is not a module. Attempt to reopen and link again. I click the thing and it still doesn't.
Okay,
So
so
I need to load the module.
okay,
Well, there, it just popped in. It just popped in the second time. Now they're loaded.
okay, perfect. Yeah, because what I've got done in each of the dice rolls, each of the weapons that you have, if you open it up to read it, you should see all the illicit effects that these weapons have, and each individual weapon has its rules. So you can read the rules of what Unforgiving does, or parrying, or whatnot, right? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that worked, because that's something new that I got worked on. Okay, so are we all happily kitted out with everything that we have?
Yeah, we're bringing everything in. We're like the mules.
Perfect.
I wouldn't say happily, but this is as good as it gets.
So you guys hear the suddenly you hear the clickety clackety, the chain moving as the gate slowly starts to rise up, and in the background you can hear the
I think he's playing with his soundboard. We start moving forward.
you can hear the people cheering and stuff like that in the background, and everyone seems to be getting kind of excited. And you guys walk into a
There it goes. Sorry, I got disconnected for some reason.
oh, it's no problem.
Yeah, me too.
All right, but now I hear the cheering.
Perfect. So in the as you're walking out, you can see various people walking around in the field, and they're raising their arms. And one guy is just finishing off another person on the far side of the arena, and the place erupts in a large cheer. Uh, those individuals who finish up their combat, they cheer and they yell and they shout. And on the opposite side of the arena, a gate opens up, and those people walk into the gate as you guys are walking out. And you guys walk into a large arena that
Cool.
Aha, there is some pillars out there. Head to one of the pillars.
and I will put you guys directly onto the maps where you guys are walking out.
All right, go to that bottom pillar, first one close to you, Vladimir.
There,
That way you don't have to move very far to get pillar close to you.
now I got to turn off the grid layers here. Grid off. There we go. So this arena is set up into 4 quadrants. These are your zones. All right. In the very center of this arena, you see a mound, roughly 4 to 5 feet high, and on this mound you see one longbow with a quiver attached to the very center. That's just kind of sitting on a platform, and
Run.
you also
Ebola, run. Start running now before he even finishes.
Before he
Start
finishes
running. That's
talking.
your bow. I'll follow you. Go.
you also
Vladimir, just get here when you can, man. I ain't bullshitting. Start running, or we're gonna lose that bow to somebody.
and you also see as there you see a very large, well-crafted, two-handed sword right in the middle, all
yes.
plastered up there. So I am going to move everyone back first.
Oh, we wanted to be the first ones there, not the slow ones there.
And as you guys are walking out and you see all this, who is going to move first? What's the first person? That little
I'm
first of all,
gonna
that red circle is going to be a zone,
Sprint.
and that zone
Sprint
is
to it, and I'll back you up, dude. Go.
all right. So who wants to go first?
I'm going to sprint to the
Get
Do,
that
do I
bow
just
off
drag it
your
over there,
target.
or
Okay, so first of all, just to make sure everyone's aware of it and to make it easier so everyone can see this, I'm going to share. Where's it to?
We do not want them shooting at us with the freaking bow if we can help it. That will so.
we
end
want to
us
be shooting
real
at
quick.
them?
Hey, just so you know, there's a script error popping up saying string campaign script master index window la 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 la. I got the message today, but it gave me an error.
Okay, no problem. So everyone has in a turn they can make you can make a free action, as many free actions as you want. You can make one minor action, and you can make one standard action. So to make a move into a different zone is a minor action. So that circle, you can see, is divided into 4 quadrants. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger to make it a little bit easier. There we go.
So if it's in the same zone, is that still a minor action?
Sorry, if it's in the same zone, it's a minor action. If it's in an adjacent zone, it's a standard action. I got to bring that up, make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, so it's a free action to move in the same zone. It's a minor action to move within medium range, and a standard action to move to a long range, which is 2 zones away.
So if you wanted to be there first, you'd have to give up your attack and only rely on either us to defend you or a what do they call it? A reaction, right? A parry.
I'm happy to do that.
Okay, so if you want to move, I'm just going to get you to drag your character to the zone that you want to enter.
Get all the way in the center, dude. There, yeah, that way you can get the bow.
All right, so you're moving up.
And I'm going to sprint as fast as I can.
No problem. So you're running up there. That's really great. So right off the get-go, I'm going to spend 2 doom.
So he wants to go first.
No. And as you're running up and running through the sand, just as underneath your feet, you notice that a cage or an opening has suddenly shifted, and you hear like wood starting to open up, like a hatch cover, and the sand pours down into it, and it opens up underneath your feet. I'm going to make you make a acrobatics roll. It's a difficulty
Grab
1.
The bow and roll.
It's an acrobatics roll, so it's a difficulty 1. So you got to get at least 1 success. Make 1 success to avoid falling down into the pit.
Can I buy some momentum?
You can add, yeah, you can. So what you do, you give me doom. So you can double click on the doom counter that's in your character sheet,
and then drag it.
And then you can drag it over to the right, and give me the doom.
Okay, so I'm buying 1 extra dice.
Okay, no problem.
Now, if you get more successes than he requires, he has momentum, right? Could he use the momentum to also snag the bow and quiver up at the same time? You can do your secondary action if you wanted to. So you're going to roll a total. So Mbatha, you're going to roll a total of 3 dice now, correct?
And I go down to that bottom left-hand corner box with the modifier and
correct.
Adjust that to 1x.
You got it. Yep.
And then I just click the Phoenix icon next to acrobatics.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's 1 success. Crap.
So as this hatch cover opens up, and I'll put a little square where that hatch is. You manage to sidestep this hatch as it opens up underneath you, and you manage not to fall into it. And you find yourself a nice bow. And I will add that to your character sheet.
Can I pick up the quiver as well, or is that...
Absolutely. Yeah, you can grab that stuff. That's easy enough to do.
Are there any other opponents in the arena at the moment? Or just us?
Just you guys. And now this hatch has just opened up. So what I'm going to do, where it says damage rolls, I'm just going to write down a quiver. So this allows you to make a volley if you want to.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I got that written down there.
Remind me again what that does. That
Well, what that does, that's a resource. So if you look at your bow should have the volley uh, quality. And I got that.
Yep.
I got that messed up. Hold on. And what that does, that allows you, you can use that quiver to make it, to give yourself an extra dice. So you don't have to spend momentum, you don't have to spend doom. And it's like you're using all your extra arrows as quickly as possible.
But then I've got no arrows left.
You know you do. You do until you... If you roll a complication, I can say you've used all your arrows. But if you have a quiver or a resource left, it's like a reload. And that
Yeah,
reload...
Okay.
This game, if you don't mind me interjecting,
Yep.
Jolly, from what I'm finding out about this game, they don't really want to bog you down with keeping track of each individual arrow, right? So they tried to make the game ebb and flow without you worried about every single shot counting.
I approve.
I mean, is that right, Jolly?
That's
Am I
absolutely
interpreting that
100%. Yes, sir.
right? Okay. Hey, can I ask a favor? Mbathis, since you're in the center there, could you toss that nice shiny sword over towards our side, please, so I can get it?
Picking up an object
as
is a
I'm
free
A free action. Yep.
action, is it not?
That is correct. Yep.
Can I do that?
Let's see. To draw an item is actually a minor action.
Here,
But to
throw it
pick
over
up an
here.
item,
Yeah, that's the same. To draw an item or to pick up an item is going to be the same thing.
Throw-
To drop
throw it
one,
over here by where I'm at. Just
Yeah.
preferably not on an open. As a matter of fact, don't. Now he'd throw it into the trap accidentally. I know. That would be
So
our
I've-
bad luck.
I've had a minor action already,
that's correct.
and I'm entitled to one other standard action.
Don't worry about it. I mean, unless we don't see our enemies, then you can do it. Does he have to continue to act all the way through?
Yeah,
Or
what
can he
he's
hold?
he's got to go from start to finish of what he's going to do.
Okay, yeah, then you might as well do it then. So I gotta wait. I gotta go back. Sorry.
Can I have like a situational, like observation test or something? Where's the nearest entrance to the arena? Opposite us, I imagine.
Opposite of you guys. Yep.
Okay. So have we fought in the arena before?
No, this is your first time here.
First time. Can I hunker down on this side of the mound,
Okay.
if that provides some extra cover? I'm not sure. And then I'm going to continue making just an observation.
Yep, we can do that. And what I'm going to do... where's my story?
Can he do the wait so when the door opens he can unleash an arrow on him or an exploit or something?
Not yet.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
Well, if and when.
Yeah.
You might want to plant that shield you brought with you into the ground and use it as cover while you're shooting.
Except I didn't bring a shield.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I have two short swords.
So if you notice on the map, I've just placed a green pin, and that's a little note. So if you click on it, you should be able to read the what that. If you're adjacent to that, I will allow you to have cover from the platform.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So who's next?
Okay. I'm gonna try to get up there, but I want to go. I'm gonna go the direction where the pit opened up, but instead of walking through the pit, I'm gonna walk slightly to the top side of it. I'm hoping there's not a pit close to the Imperial seats or whatever. And I'm gonna come over here and grab that two-handed sword.
No problem. So you're able to walk up and get to that area, no problem whatsoever.
All right, I got your back now. Now we're ready. And I got the shield out and ready just in case they just come out shooting at us.
All right. So now Elise Vitamir.
Okay, well, so there's nothing at the moment, is there, I can see to kill?
That's correct. Yep.
Where's the pit again exactly? Sorry, is it that red square?
It's the square is the pit. Yep.
Can I hold an action or anything like that to
You can.
react to something coming out of the pit?
You can
Can
do
I
what's
interrupt it?
yeah. What is called for you? It's called ready action, and that's holding another action to perform later. So you can say, "This is what if something happens here. This is what I'm going to do."
So, so I can only ready one action, sorry.
Correct. Yeah.
I couldn't ready a move and an attack, for example. So, all right. So I guess I'll move.
Can he move and then declare the ready standard action to attack if something comes
To
out of the
ready
pit?
an action is a standard action. So if he wants to do a minor action, and he can move to another to within medium range, yeah. So he can move into another zone,
Okay.
and
I'm gonna move your character just for a second to show you what he's talking about. So, for example, you were in this zone. You could move over to this zone and say, "I'm gonna hold ready action," and if something comes out of the pit swing, you could do the same thing here. Actually, yeah, move in one zone to here, and then you can say the same thing here.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
if
I'll
you
I'll
wanted
do
to.
that then.
Did I get that right, Jolly?
you did. Well done.
Okay.
Okay. So I've used a minor to maneuver up to there, and my standard is ready. Ready with a spear, and I'm gonna jab whatever comes out of that pit. Sounds good.
Perfect. So I'm going to put a note on your character sheet that you have a ready action. Or sorry, on your on the combat tracker.
Yeah. Cool.
So Mbatha, so Jim, up on the very top right-hand corner of the Fantasy Grounds window, you're going to see a bunch of little small red buttons, and one of them is CT.
Top right hand corner, you say?
Yep.
It's got a
Oh,
weird
yeah,
font, so it's a little
Yep,
hard to read
got
on
it.
some of them.
Yeah. So if you click
Yep.
on the CT button, that is your combat tracker.
Combat tracker.
So you can
Got
see
it.
who's moved and whatever, right? All right. So everyone has moved. Now you will notice that there are actually other pits that are starting to open up in various areas of the floor, of the arena floor. And each of these pits are opening up. You guys all hear a growl. And
People.
from this pit, you see arise. Oh,
Good call, Vidimir.
That's cute.
No, I wish I had armor.
oh.
I wish I was the chosen designated survivor.
Those are big teeth.
Please tell me it's mouse sized.
Yeah. It's like 6 inches big.
Well, one is very lucky that they didn't fall into the pit as they ran past it. You know what I mean?
Oh God, you would have been facing that thing by yourself on your backside. That would have so sucked. Oh shit, there's 3 of them. Uh-oh.
So, you see out of the pit 3 of these tigers kind of come up to the top. Vidimir,
Stab it.
you had a ready action. Is there anything that you want it to do?
Yes, attack it.
Stab it. Stab it.
Yeah, while it's trying to get out of the hole. It
All
might
right.
not be able to defend.
So the way this works, you have to be in the same zone to be able to attack them, or you have to be adjacent. So,
He is adjacent, right at the corner. The 2 corners touch.
that's the
That's what
gate. That's the gate.
Huh?
But I got no problems with saying, are you going to be adjacent to that hatch? Is that exactly where you want to be, Vidimir?
Yeah, I wanted to be in a position so if something came out of the hatch, I could stab it. So that's kind of where I want to maneuver to.
All right, so that's Sabertooth number 3. So I am going to try and defend against whatever you do. So I got to spend the doom to do it. So it's going to
Alright,
become a
so
struggle.
okay. Is there a reason you have to spend the doom for defend? Is that because I'm doing a reaction, or is it, or do you always have to spend a doom for defense?
To be able to react to someone, you have to spend the doom.
Okay.
Right now, I don't have anything called parry. I have no skills that allows me to parry, which means that
It'll be hard for him.
it's hard. I got to spend to do it. If you have parry in a weapon, it actually reduces the cost to parry.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to attack, you can first of all decide if you want to spend doom to add to your dice rolls.
Well, you are losing doom anyway, aren't you? So I could, if I give you a doom, you'd be on the same doom as you started before, I think. So yeah, go on then.
All right. So I'll take a doom. And so you're only going to roll 3 dice. That's the way it's going to work.
Does he have
Yeah,
a talent that lets him get double that value of that doom spent?
I don't
You know
think
what
he
I'm talking
does.
about? There's like one. Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to help.
Now in Vitamir, you can look at your abilities and you can see that you have Agile, Berserker. So if you click on those, you'll be able to read some of the things that you can do.
Berserker sounds a bit harsh, actually.
It is a little harsh. It is
Yeah.
very very
Wait till the last move type thing to do.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pros
on
and
the last
cons on that one.
standing. Okay.
So you're going to roll how many dice? 3 total. Is it?
3 dice, so I'll do my modifier up 1.
Yep.
And it's just a melee roll, so here we go.
Correct.
Right, that looked like it sucked.
Okay, so I said I was going to parry, so now I got to parry. This creature here, that's number 3. He has. Let's see.
Well, better to get them all out of the way now, I guess.
I've changed the dice colour, it's a surefire way for it, you know. Guaranteed to work.
Hey, whatever floats that boat, man. Get it floating, please.
All right, so I'm not going to spend any doom to add to it. I'm just going to roll 2 dice.
Okay, but you had to spend a doom anyway, did you, to do the parry?
Yeah, he already did.
That's right. Oh, I got that done wrong.
He just got it back though because you used 1 to, or
Yeah.
gave him 1 to have an extra roll. Hey, him having 9 dooms starting out is a whole lot better than the last game I played where he started out with like almost 24, 25 dooms. It was harsh.
So I rolled and I got 2 successes. So that beats your. You got 0 successes and I got 2. So I actually beat you with 2 momentum. So I'm going to take the 2 momentum. I'm going to keep it. And then I'm going to put that directly into the pit. So he defended against your attack.
And that gives you 2 doom then, does it, essentially?
Correct, yep.
Bummer.
All right, so now I will continue on with my turns. So Saber-Toothed Tiger, obviously just coming up and just getting kind of coming out of the pit and getting completely blindsided here by this attack from Vitamir. He is going to turn, and he is now going to attack Vitamir. So you have to decide if you're going to try to react to it and defend. He's going to he's going to make a melee attack against you. So did you want to try and parry?
Yeah, but do I need to give you doom if I want to parry?
Well, you actually have a spiked shield, right? So because you have a spiked shield, you're able to do 1 parry for free. So you don't have to worry about spending any doom.
Okay, let's let's do that then.
Actually,
So,
hold on, I'll take that back. Your spike shield does not carry the parry ability, so it's going to cost you 1.
I don't know what's worse. What's worse, giving him doom or not parry?
I would. I don't know how hard these things hit first, so I would spend the doom just to have a chance at not dying on the first swing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
we
okay.
agree.
don't know how hard they hit yet. When we see and we know they only do 5 damage dice or something, and you know you can soak most of that, then maybe you won't do it next time. But right now, we don't know. I've
All
never
right.
fought these things. These things might be tough as
Jolly,
hell.
Yeah.
I have an animal handling skill. Do I know what these beasts are?
You would have to make a roll to figure that out, but you know that they're going to hit hard.
Okay. I don't need animal handling for that. They have sharp teeth.
Yes, they are a saber-toothed tiger,
Weird.
so they're not going to be pleasant. All right, so I am going to spend. Where's my?
Now, guys, if he starts spending a lot of doom, that's when we go on the offensive after he gets done spending because he won't have shit to parry with. That's how this game ebbs and flows, and he knows that. So he'll either go conservative or he'll go all out trying to do his worst up front.
You
This
make it. You
game is
make it
just,
sound like a bad thing.
well, it's just the way the game is. It ebbs and flows. I mean, that's the whole point of that giving him doom and not giving him doom. It's so he can have a chance to rise up and do his worst. So, you know, just be prepared for when he goes low on doom. That's when we need to go balls to the wall crazy on him.
Well, I'm going to spend the 2 doom that was given to me. So I'm going to go down by 2. So I'm going to roll a total of 4 dice.
Oh god, that's gonna hurt. Luckily, you got a shield and armor on, so you can soak a lot of it. Hopefully.
So I'm going to roll the dice.
Roll bad. Roll bad. Bad,
Oh,
Jolly.
no, that's
bad.
not right. I look at all the dice I rolled. I rolled like 8 dice for some reason. Do this right. So 2D20.
Now, if they were all 18 and above, we don't mind.
There we go. So I got 3 successes. So I got a. Everything's based on a D1 unless stated otherwise. So it was a difficulty 1. So I rolled a hit with 2 momentum. So you need to get at least 2 momentum on your defense.
Oh.
Oh, I can do that, no problem. I got this. Check this out. Okay.
Holy shit! I think. No.
So you have
Oh.
you have 2 successes, which is really a success with 1 momentum. So I actually beat you with 1 momentum.
Okay, it could have been worse.
All right, so I did hit, and I'm gonna take my 1 momentum there now. And now I'm gonna roll my damage. And I'm gonna roll where it hit you.
So, while he's trying to figure out where he hit you, oh god, that's vicious. Okay, so you see where it says 2 damage? That's the normal damage, but because he has 2 effects that are slash, then the new damage becomes 4. But he also has a vicious category, which I think adds more to it as well.
What vicious does is for every effect that I've rolled, it adds a damage.
Right, so you've rolled 2 effects. So it makes 4 damage in total. It's already worked that out for you, has it?
That's correct. So I rolled 4 damage, and I hit you in the torso. Now you on your armor, right? You have on your armor a soak of 2.
Yep, so
Right.
that's 2 rolls over to me.
So what I'm going to do is I have that 1 point of momentum left over, and I'm going to spend that momentum, and I'll do that. And what that does, that will negate. That'll give me piercing 2, which allows me to ignore your 2 points of soak.
Okay.
So I'm going to do 4 points of vigor damage to you.
So basically, he made your armor pointless. Now you're relying only on your shield.
Yeah, so now you have to roll your shield dice. So you have a spiked shield, correct?
Okay, so penetration. That penetration, anyone can do that?
Anyone can
That's
do that.
just
Yep.
a flat, yeah, a
So
flat momentum ability.
so you have to roll 2d6, and this is the amount of damage that you're going to soak.
Just straight off the tabletop.
Yeah, you can just roll 2 right off the tabletop. That's no problem.
Yeah. Roll ones and twos. Oh, that 5 sucked.
So you actually blocked 3 points of damage. Because the 2 counts as 2 and the 5 counts as 1.
Yeah,
The
I was
standard
hoping you were
Conan
gonna get
dice.
like 2 twos.
So through the whole attack, you only took 1 vigor damage.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So that's good.
Okay. And when does that roll over onto wounds? Is that when vigor gets to 0?
The way wounds work, if you take more than 5 vigor damage or 5 or more vigor damage in a round, that's a wound. If you reach the 0 mark, that's another wound, and if any damage you take after 0, it becomes a wound.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, that was a flesh wound.
That's nothing. It's just a scratch.
Just a scratch. Bring it on. A little overconfident there, but never mind.
Now, let's see here. All right. So, in the next round, that was number 3. So number 1 is now going to go. He is going to take a minor action to run up to here to get adjacent to Gavril, and he is going to attack, but not with a melee attack. Actually, he's going to stay. He's going to stay just a little bit back. He's going to kind of ponder up, walk up, and he's going to steer at you, and he's going to do a threaten attack.
Okay. Hey, Huntress, just so you know, you might want to try to take out the third one. Because that's the one that's most likely to try to pounce in close on you. That's just me saying that before it gets
The one
going.
that's remaining. Yeah.
No, the third one. The one in the square that he just swung at and didn't do anything and it hit back. That one's probably the one I think that will try to get on you if you don't help take it down.
Oh, I see. The one that's already engaged Vitamir.
Too. Right. I think the number 3, if you put your mouse cursor over, you can see the numbers. The one that's number 3 and the one that's number 2, I bet they're going to go after Vladimir, and that number 1's going to go after me. So I was just saying, if 3 goes after you, though, that might be the one you got to watch for.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Jolly. Do your best.
No, it's no problem. So it is going to do a threaten attack towards you. Are you wanting to defend?
What a horrible way to waste my shit. I don't even know if I have is my character even decent at defending that type of stuff? How do you know?
You pretty much you look at your discipline.
Discipline? Oh, I got about a 50-50 chance. Sure. I'll defend.
All right, so I'll take a doom.
Because what are the effects of that type of attacks usually? Things like paralyze you can't take your turn next turn or stuff like that.
Well, it doesn't have the stun ability, but it's just going to frighten you essentially.
Yeah, but what does frighten do?
It just takes away from it does mental damage to you.
Okay, but the same type of effect though. You take too much mental damage and you then become incapacitated.
It works the same as it does for vigor. Yep. It works the same as it does for physical wounds.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'll defend from it anyway.
All right. So it is going to growl at you, and this is a threaten attack. So let's see here.
Almost like to roar at it and step forward.
And I'm just going to spend 1 doom. So I'm spending 1 doom to roll 3 dice. And let's see here. So I did not get any successes.
Okay.
So you
So I
still
still have to roll though, right?
you can yes, because you can get momentum.
Okay.
Nice.
So you have 3 momentum now. You can put that directly into the pool
No, I want to use it to attack his ass.
to make a swift action. So
Yeah.
now you're not engaged with it. So you only get a
Oh.
standard action.
So in other words, I can't attack him.
Correct. Not that way.
Okay. Then let's stick it into. Oh, now can I use that to start an exploit this turn so I can use it next turn?
Yes, you can. So because it's a swift action, it's going to increase your difficulty by 1. So it's a D2 observation roll.
All right, I'm gonna use one more to give me another die.
Okay, so you're going to get rid of all the momentum.
Observation, you said, right?
Yep.
Man, I don't think I did it.
No, you did not.
God damn it. Oh well, easy come, easy go. Fuck. Just so y'all know, what I was trying to do was make my next attack really, really fucking harsh, and I screwed it up by rolling terrible.
Win some,
And
you lose some.
on the next roll, it looks like I am going to... This creature here, he's going to move into this particular zone up there, and he's just kind of circling the group. So, it is a new round. Momentum drops down by 1, but there's already 0 in the pool, so there's no issues there. And I'm going to spend a Doom to go first. And I'm going to let Sabertooth number 1 go first. And he is going to target Gavril. Now, is going to make a melee attack. Did you want to defend?
Yes.
All right. You have the parry ability, correct?
Yes.
When your weapons?
Yes, on the broadsword.
All right. So if the Sabertooth Tiger makes a movement minor action, because he's going to try to pounce you, and I'm going to bring that up here, pounce. He's going to make a minor action. He's going to move up, and he's going to try to attack you. So I'm going to spend a full 3 points of Doom to roll 5 dice.
Jeez. Thanks, man. Don't hold back on my account. That tiger doesn't like us naked. He's looking at my junk and getting hungry.
You're completely naked, remember.
So this thing has a skill of 14 and a focus of 4 on his combat here.
Oh my fuck, gosh. That's horrible, man. He's gonna pounce the shit out of me.
So I got 6 successes. So that's a really a hit with a 5 momentum.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Probably gonna be an end to me or close to it. All right, so I am giving you 3 doom, and I am going to do my parry. Is there anything
Fortune.
I can do? I got deflection, but when making a defend reaction, a parry skill, you can reduce the number of points added to the doom by 1. So take 1 away from that.
Okay.
So it's only going to be 2. There you go. Strong back and might doesn't help. Okay. So here goes. This is going to be harsh. Come on, roll good, roll good.
So I got 5 momentum.
Oh, that was wonderful roll. I'm dead.
So you have 1 success. So I really beat you by 5 momentum. Okay. So I'm going to roll the damage. And this now has knockback because of the pounce.
Roll all 3s and 4s, please.
So here we go. So I rolled pretty bad. So I'm going to spend one of those momentum to re-roll the 3d6.
Oh, come on.
That's a little bit better. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So I did 7 damage total with 2 effects. Now this has knockback. It's going to cost you 2 doom to avoid being knocked back. Do you want to spend the 2 doom?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will take doom. So you are not knocked back. I am going to... You have no armor, so I don't need to spend anything on piercing.
Actually, I do have one piece of armor.
Oh, really?
Shield on his back.
Oh, right. You're
And
right.
when you're pouncing, you land on me. I don't know.
Or
you
you
don't
turn
have
your
to
shoulder
spend it,
against.
but whatever.
I will...
No, does a cat think like that?
well, you were facing it, and it was facing you, so... But what I will do is I will roll the dice. I'll roll a d6, and I'll give you 50-50 chances. If it's even, you were turned just enough towards it and kind of had your shoulder ducked down into it to avoid it, enough for it to affect the shield. So it isn't even. So let's see if it hits your torso now. So it looks like it hit you in the head anyway.
That's even worse.
Okay, so I did 7 points of damage.
Yeah, might like to use my shield to absorb to try to soak some of that.
Well, it's on your back. You had
No,
one
I
in
have
your
2
hand, though,
shields.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Right. So,
I got my tower shield. It soaks 4. Or I get to roll 4, right?
that's
How
right.
does
You roll 4 dice.
All right.
So I'm getting.
I can't use Doom or anything to make that better, right?
That's correct.
Okay. It's
So
just
you roll
straight
your
up.
4 dice and see how much damage that affects. How much it soaks. Now you just roll 4d6 into the chat window. That's all. So it stops 2 points of damage. For badness, I'm going to spend a doom to give myself piercing, which ignores your shield. So you're still looking at 7 points of vigor damage.
There's nothing I can do about it.
So, no, there's nothing that you can do about it. So that is 7 points of vigor and it's 1 wound. And the crowd goes wild.
All right. He used all of his stuff on that one, so that would be the one to attack.
So I have 3 momentum left over, and I'm going to put that into my pit, into my doom pool. Okay, so I'm not spending any more doom, so I'm not going to go any further. So who wants to go next? Who wants to go first?
I would like to retaliate.
Go ahead then.
Okay, so you're attacking, so I'm going to spend the doom to parry. So you have a hit with 2 momentum. I'm going to spend... I just spent 1. I'm not going to roll any extra dice. I'm just going to roll 2 dice.
Okay, so
What?
both of the reason, or the huntress, the reason why he's parrying a mine. So now you need to make sure you hit him because he should not be able to parry again.
No, I can parry multiple times, but each additional parry costs me
It
1
gets
additional
really
doom.
expensive.
It gets very expensive, yeah. So
Make him burn his doom all up.
Wait,
Feather the
so,
shit.
but each tiger gets a parry, right?
Everyone can parry. Creature, person, NPC. It only costs one. The first parry cost is 1. The second parry costs 2. The third parry costs is 3, and so forth.
And
Yep.
but if you had an item with a parry quality, you get the first one free, is it?
Correct. So if you have 2 items that you're using, say a sword and a shield, each of those have parry, you get your first 2 parries for free. One's the sword, one's the shield.
Yep.
And Gavril, you got a +3 dice on that. Did you spend momentum for that?
Oh, I gave him Doom.
Yeah, he gave me
Yeah,
Doom.
you gave him Doom.
He used it, and then he turned right around and used the Doom to defend against it, or parry
Oh,
against
no.
it.
Yep.
Okay,
So
That's
I'm gonna
why
roll.
he looks almost the same, is because he burned everything I just gave him.
So I'm just gonna roll 2 dice, and I'm gonna hope to get more than 3 successes. So I have 1 success. You had 3, so you hit with 2 momentum. So
Alright,
I'm gonna put your momentum there. There you go.
I'm sorry. I've got, what, 1 momentum? Or
You
2
got 2 momentum to spend on your character sheet. I put it on your tab there where it says momentum. You have 2 you can spend.
Oh, okay.
So now you get the roll for damage.
Right, and I can use momentum in the damage, right? Because I don't have any traits that'll make it better. So
You can use momentum after to reduce the piercing, to reduce and to re-roll any dice that didn't come up as damage if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
But the best thing to always do is just to roll your damage right off the get-go. Sure.
See some 2s.
All right, I'm going to get you to.
Looks
So
like the 4, a 3, and 2 3s. So probably 1 would be good just to re-roll those misses, right? Those 3 misses.
correct. Yep.
1, 2, 3 dice. So I need to pick up 3 6s. Oh, let me spend it first.
I just did it
already
for you. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 3.
Nice.
Some of those are good.
So that's
Actually,
that's
no, they
2,
all
3.
got
That's
points.
4 extra damage. So you did a total of 12 damage to this thing.
Okay.
So this creature, number 1, has a soak. It has no soak. So you did 11 damage to it, right?
12, you said.
12, sorry. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's right. You did 12. It has a vigor of 11, which means you did more than 5, and you got it to reach 0. That's 2 wounds.
Yes, we got 1 down. Damn near killed me doing it.
All right.
So is 2 wounds enough to bring it down?
Yes, for a toughened
sword comes
character,
out of his body.
they only have 2 wounds.
Okay.
I point my bloody sword at the next one and yell at him. Make the
So
crowd go wild.
you hear a large shout again in excitement. And the crowd goes wild. Roar! As the saber-toothed tiger goes down in a lump, in a total lump.
All right, who wants the next shot?
I guess I'll go next. And I'm
And I put my 1 momentum into the pool for him.
cool.
Okay,
So
so
the Saber-Tooth Tiger 2. Wait. Saber-Tooth Tiger 3 is already engaged with Vitamir? Is that right?
number 2 is, yes, it's in reach of Vitamir.
Number 3 is engaged. Number 2 is fresh, right? Circling the group.
Correct.
So from the previous round, when I said I was making scoping the area out to find a target, does that give me any extra bonuses?
No, it doesn't. Only if you did
Okay,
like an
so I've
exploit
got-
action.
I've got Marksman, which gives me an extra momentum to spend on my roll, I believe.
Okay.
You've also got the 1 that I left in the pool too, if you need it. Or
So-
you can save it to help with damage or whatever.
just to
Or give
show.
And
yourself
volley,
piercing.
volley gives me an extra.
Extra dice of damage. That an extra dice in
That's
the
just the damage. Right.
no, an extra dice to your skill roll. But if you use the volley, if you use your resource, you may have no more reloads after that.
Wait,
do it,
if
man.
I
Just
if,
plow
if I
through him.
roll, it's only if I roll a complication that I lose the resource. No.
Possible. No. If you
Right.
use the resource, it's gone anyway, and it gives you that extra dice.
Oh, I see. So you only get one volley for the fight.
Yes, correct.
All
Yeah,
right,
you
I'm
might
just gonna
not
go.
want to start out with a volley
Yep,
there.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm just. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with my marksman. I'm gonna use the momentum that's already in the pool.
Okay.
So that's 4 dice. No.
Okay, so you're targeting number 2, right?
Number 2, yes.
Okay, so you start off with 2 dice. Your marksman, let's see what that does. Marksman, you perform a ranged attack with precision. You may spend a minor action attempting. So this is a momentum. So it's not extra dice. It's extra momentum, which makes it more effective if you hit. So you're using the momentum that's in the pit to add dice. So that's 3 dice total. So right now you only have 3. The marksman comes
But I
into
can
play
spend
after.
a minor action.
Correct, but that's
get
only
an
if you're
additional
successful.
momentum.
That's only if you're successful on your attack.
Oh, I see. Right, I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you. Then I'm gonna spend the doom as well.
Okay, I'll take the
Make
doom.
it 4 dice.
No problem. So you're going to roll 4 dice, and this creature here is going to try and jump out of the way. So I'm going to spend the doom and put it back there.
Okay, so just roll my range attack. Is that it?
Correct. Yep.
Remember to put your modifiers in the. Oh, looks like you already did.
So you have a hit technically with 4 successes. So I'm going to try and dodge now. That was number 2. It has a let's see. All right, so I'm going to roll the dice. I'm not going to add any extra dice. Actually, yes, I will. I'm going to add 1 extra dice. So I'm going to roll 3 dice, and I'll roll it, see what happens. So I get 1 success, so you actually hit with 2 momentum, plus your marksman, which gives you 3 momentum.
That's good.
Right.
So I'm going to.
So I don't have to use all of. So I can use all of those to get extra combat dice, extra damage dice.
What? No, you can you. Oh, just hold on
Make
1
your
second.
roll
Sorry, I got to
first.
interrupt 1 second.
Okay, so like he was telling me, you want to at least make your damage roll first, and then you decide how to spend the momentum to either re-roll the bad rolls or try to add more rolls in, or what. You have choices after you roll, but you want to roll first to see, if you even need it. You might be happy with it, and not want to use that momentum and save it in the pool for Vitamir to use.
Okay, so I'm just rolling 2d6 for my damage. That's it.
Well, wait till he gets back.
Yep.
And he can confirm everything with you, because that was the way I understood it. But I don't, like I said, I've only played twice before, so don't listen to me. Get confirmation from Jolly.
Hey.
I'd hate for you to roll and then find out that he won't let you have 2 more you could have had. You know what I mean?
My understanding from a quick glance at the rules is that you can buy extra damage dice.
Yeah, I think you can, but I don't think you have to do it before you roll. I think you can roll and then buy them and roll them to add to it. But confirm
That's
that
handy.
with Jolly.
Yeah.
this game is more about the storytelling than the min-maxing. You know what I mean? If you haven't caught that by yet, they
Yeah, that's
the
one
whole
thing that
reason
attracted
behind
me to it.
the whole reason behind all those doom points and momentum points is to force player characters when they really want to do something, they can spend it to try to make it happen. The DM really wants to try to change the story some way or stop you. He can spend a lot to try to make it happen. But when you spend, it comes at a cost because it means you give up other things you possibly could have done. So it's that ebb and flow type thing between the players and the GM instead of it only being a one-way street. Or, it allows the DM to also change the story fluidly as players, make decisions, fight, whatever. Or at least that's what it seems to be trying to do.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
He had questions about his damage before he rolled it.
Yep.
Okay.
So, do I how do I buy extra dice? Do I just roll first and then buy it, or do I have to declare that to begin with?
No, you can always roll your dice first and then determine what you're going to do after.
If I just click this button, it'll roll the dice for me.
Okay, now
And
first of all, I'm going to get down in the modifier box. You have +4 the ranged weapons. So
Yep.
down in the bottom, I'm going to get you to put your +4,
oh, yeah, cool.
and then hit that hit the damage, the little sword icon.
Ooh, I saw a lot of ones. Way to
Them's
go.
good.
All right, so you did a total
Better,
of
but
6 points of damage.
And the 5's in effect, is that right?
The 5 is an effect which gives it piercing 1, but it doesn't have any armor anyway, so it doesn't do anything to it.
Right.
I would still, man, I would maybe take 1 to get a reroll or something. Well, you only have 1 die.
Well,
to
I've
reroll, though.
actually got a reroll anyway from my accurate talent.
Oh,
I
there you
Okay.
go. Nice.
So to
So then
roll,
hold on, but hold on. Can't he add the new damage dice and then reroll them all if they roll bad, or does he have to do the reroll before he adds bonus damage dice?
no, you roll it all together at once, and then you can re-roll your dice after, but you can't add
Okay.
it separately, you know what I mean? So you can you can re-roll that 1d6 just simply by picking up the d6 and dragging and throwing it into the chat window.
So my according to that little window, it tells me that I can reroll a number equal to the number of range weapon talents that I have. It seems that I've got 2 range weapon talents.
Correct. So you can roll up to 2 dice if you wanted to.
Okay, so there's only 1 there that needs reroll. I think that's a 3.
That's correct, yep.
If I then buy extra dice and want to reroll, I can use the same talent to reroll that.
You can't roll any extra dice than what's already been rolled.
Oh,
right?
I see. I'm with you. Okay, right. I'm just going to re-roll the 1 then.
Okay.
Great.
Good roll.
So that's the 2. So that brings it up to 8 points of damage.
Cool.
So you can spend momentum to add things to add damage to make your roll more effective. You can buy certain abilities, right? So let me see if I can find it exactly.
What about, was it Unforgiven, maybe?
If you wanted to buy, for example, like if I want to use piercing, I can spend 1 doom and add piercing quality to it.
Yep.
I'm just trying to find it where I can.
What is the piercing gain for him since he already has a piercing 1 because of the effect?
If he was
It gives him
if he
piercing
was to
2?
buy the quality, it gives you a piercing 2, so it actually makes your overall thing a piercing 3.
And what does that do for him, though?
That would
In
ignore
this case, nothing.
nothing in this case.
Yeah, because they have no armor. So
Correct.
Yeah, that would be a waste of momentum then. You'd be better to just buy another combat die. I mean, a damage die.
Now you can. I'm going to share what you can do.
Oh, there you go. Called shot. No, it doesn't.
Oh,
help.
Jim, or Peters, I guess. It looks like you disconnected
yeah.
there. So
Oh, from the Discord.
No, from the fantasy grounds there.
Yeah, just by the damage dice. None of those others really pertain to
Yeah.
what you need to do. You've
Isn't
already
the
got the
one where-
reroll you needed.
But-
How do I reconnect?
It should do it automatically here. But here's the thing: you can do what's there. You go. You just disconnected again there.
You might have to release this character, right?
No.
Oh, it'll give it back to him.
Yeah, you should be able to log back on there. Jim or Peter?
How do I log back on?
Just open up Fantasy Grounds again. Is your Fantasy Grounds still open?
No, it's still up and running.
Yeah, it shows you as disconnected. So I'm just going to get you to close out Fantasy Grounds. Right click anywhere on the desktop and close out, and then I'll just get you to rejoin again.
Hey, while you're getting him connected, I'm going to go use the restroom. Be right back.
No problem.
1 sec.
Yeah, I'm curious about. There's a momentum spam which is bonus damage, which basically increases the damage by +1, or you can re-roll.
Look at no, you're right. I didn't. You know something? I don't think I've ever saw anyone use that, and therefore it never even stuck in my memory. A character can increase. Oh yes, right. You can add one point of damage per momentum. It's not dice. It's just one momentum. One point of vigor damage.
Isn't that kind of better than re-rolling there?
Is it kind of what?
Better than re-rolling, because if you re-roll, you've got a chance of getting no damage.
It is. Yep, you're right. But
I suppose
you don't get your
don't get
effects. If you roll the dice, you get a chance for effects, right?
True. Yeah, it's just a gamble. Yeah.
Yep.
I suppose you could be in a position where you know just that extra 1 point of damage will do the business. Yeah.
There you go. Looks like he connected back.
Yeah, it's only connecting. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. There we go.
All right. So I'm going to share with you things you can do for spending momentum.
Share. Can you also reshare the arena map, please? Because I've lost that.
Most certainly can.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, so you've done 7 points of damage. You have 2 points of momentum left over. Now you can make that. Or sorry, you did 8 points of damage. Sorry.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, you did 8
From
points of
memory.
damage. You can spend 2 momentum to make that up to 10 if you wanted to, but it'll still be alive. Or you can make a swift action, and a swift action is another shot at an additional difficulty.
So I'm going to that costs 1 momentum.
To do a swift action,
swift action?
it'll cost you 2.
2. All right. And how much momentum in the current pool? I've
You
lost
have
that
two.
as well, by
You
the
have
way.
2 left over right now, and there's nothing in the pool.
Yeah, I'm going to use it to make another action.
All right. So I'm going to double click on your momentum to say that you spent it. Okay. So this creature is not going to try and dodge or parry because I don't want to spend all my doom. So because it's an additional action, it's now a D2 as opposed to a D1. So you need to get at least 2 successes for it to be a hit. Now, did you want to spend any doom to roll extra dice?
Can you share the current Doom pool again, please? 'Cause
Oh,
I've
yeah,
lost
sure.
it.
There you
He's
go.
at 9,
He's at 9, right?
and we have no momentum
I'm-
in full.
Okay, I'm not going to give you any extra doom. I'm just
Roll two
gonna
dice.
go as is.
No problem.
So what did you do while I was gone? Did you manage to hurt it?
Yeah, he's got 8 damage, and I've just taken another swift action for an extra shot.
Yeah, you're trying to get that second wound real quick.
And there's one is under my focus. That's 2 successes, I think.
You actually have a
So that's
total of
3 in
3.
total.
3, yep. So this thing has 3 points of vigor damage left.
You got a momentum with a success.
You have a wound on it already, so that's 1 wound. All right, so you actually hit with a momentum. Because you've done your minor action this round, you actually get another bonus momentum. So that brings you right back up to 2 momentum. Now, I'll get you to roll your damage now. If you do more than 2 vigor damage, you've killed it.
That's nothing.
Oh, you forgot.
But I can re-roll.
Use your skill to re-roll.
You forgot to add in
Yep,
your 4 extra range dice.
Yeah, and
Can
you
I
also
just
have
roll?
that skill that'll re-roll.
Yeah, you can just
Can I just roll another?
put a 2 down in your modifier box and roll again. That's all. We'll add it all up then.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right, so you did 3 points of damage. That's enough to kill it. So you don't even have to spend any additional momentum.
So you just
Can
put
I
the other
put that
ones in the
momentum
pool.
back in the pool?
Directly into the
Great.
pool. Absolutely.
Yeah, I moved it already for you.
Perfect.
I scream a Chimerian war cry.
That arrow sails through the air, and it comes up and hits solidly into the side, and the creature kind of just thuds over to onto its side and spasms a bit, and then dies promptly.
Good show.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Vladimir, go put that armor to use. Go belly flop on this last one.
Okay.
Well, you know something? Because of what's going on here, and because I can, I'm going to spend the doom, and I'm going to go first.
Meanie.
Just to add to the suns, to the total.
Yeah, you've only gone first every single round so far.
That is not true.
Except for the one where we ran out the gate. That was the only one we got to go first.
So
could we have a fight with that though? Because I've got 2 momentum in the pool. Could I spend momentum and say no? I want to go first.
No, not in this case.
Okay.
It's only the GM has the only ability to spend the doom to allow one person to go before anyone else in the sequence.
As I usually GM, I like that. Okay, carry on.
So here's the thing: you have a spear, and something that we never did the round before, because I'm trying to add in the rules over time. You have a reach of 3.
Huh?
I have a reach of 2. So which means you are a little bit harder for me to hit. So for me to hit you, I add the difference to my roll, right? So instead of it being a difficulty 1, it's now difficulty 2 for me to attack you with my claws.
Good job. You forced him to have to make another success other than just the basic one. That's good. That's real good.
Because
Especially
you have...
since you also have a shield, too.
Exactly. You have the reach, right?
I've got reach 3, yeah.
So I'm going to try and attack. I'm going to spend 3 doom total, and I'm going to roll 5 dice.
Okay. And the additional difficulty, how's that calculated into it?
Well, what it is, if I say it's a difficulty 2, all your rolls are actually still based on difficulty 1. So anything over and above 1 success is extra for you.
Okay.
Right?
I understand, but for you, you need 2 successes just to get 1 success.
Exactly. Yep. So I'm going to roll 3 dice or 5 dice total. So here's my roll.
You're a lucky SOB.
So because of that, I needed at least 2 to get a success. So I have a hit with 3 momentum total.
Okay, when should I declare that I'm? Well, I get a parry anyway, don't I?
You have a
Oh no, I
shield.
don't. I need to spend them, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
have a
right.
shield,
I
so
need
you got that parry.
Yeah,
Take it. Use it.
technically you would need to do it beforehand, but
Okay, but I think because I've not got the parry quality on the shield, I need to spend the momentum,
okay.
right?
Yeah, so I'll spend the doom. So for a reaction. So it's not your momentum; it's the doom. So I just moved it up for you.
Oh, okay.
I thought all shields have it. I think he just has it written on them.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Yeah.
No, seriously, don't all the shields have parry?
Not the spiked shield, no, because it's a little bit different.
Oh, because it's got okay. That's probably because it's
Spiky.
got the spike on it, so it can do more damage when you go offensive.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay,
you
Give or take type thing.
you spent one to parry. Did you want to spend
spend.
your momentum? You can add up to 2 dice for free if you spend your 2 momentum.
Okay, well you've got quite a few successes there, haven't you? You've got 3 successes. That's going to hurt a bit. So yeah, go on then. I'll spend the momentum. So spend the 2 momentum.
Now you can still spend one more doom to get roll an additional dice because you can use momentum and doom if you want.
I see. And is the doom my doom spend capped at 1? Is it essentially to do that?
Yeah, it is now because you always want to spend your momentum first, right? Because it doesn't cost anything extra. So um, if you only spend one doom now, you can spend up to 1 to get your last dice. You can roll up to 5 total, right?
Oh, I understand. Yeah, because I can't have any more than 3. I get it. But if I hadn't got that momentum, could I have just spent say 3 doom to
Exactly.
actually?
Yes, you could. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to do that because you're getting a bit lower on doom now, and I don't want to give you any more doom. So
Okay.
I'm happy with the bonus 2. So
Okay.
let's do it. Oh damn it! I rolled the wrong. Damn. Oh god. Damn
That's
it.
all right.
Sorry.
That's
Can you
okay. That's no
roll that?
problem. All good. So you want to roll your parry skill now?
I want to roll. Oh, is it my shield skill or the parry skill?
It's your
Sorry.
parry. Is your parry is what you want?
Yeah, make sure to put your +2 modifier in the. Oh, it looks like you did anyway.
Aha! Aha! Suck it up.
All right.
Yeah,
So
good
I
job.
had I needed to get a D2 with 3 successes. You had a D1 with 3 successes. So it works out to be the same. The momentum, because you always count your momentum as the tiebreaker. So you've actually tied it.
Oh, I don't get that because didn't you have 3 successes and I've got 4?
Well, I got a total of because
5 successes.
the way it counts up here, it counts everything as a success.
Ah,
So I had a difficulty 2, so you subtract the 2 from the 5, you got 3, right?
yeah.
If you had a difficulty of 1, so subtract 1 from your 4, that gives you 3. So the momentum now is the same.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. Sorry. I
But
was.
you
Yeah.
rolled good. I think you did what you wanted to do at a minimum, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with that. It's good. Yeah. I was just wasn't taking off the D1, the difficulty 1 off my successes. That's all it was.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, where it's a tie, all ties go to the players unless I spend the doom to break the tie. But I'm not going to break the tie,
You're getting low on Doom now. Yeah. I see.
right?
He
So
wants to save it
now
for his attack.
it is your go.
My go.
Stick the kitty.
You see, I'm not going to give him any Doom. I'm going to play it a bit cautious. We're doing okay now. We've
Yeah,
got
just
one.
swing normal.
One kitty.
I
I'm
am
just going
going
to
to
swing
try
normal.
and defend, just to let you know.
Will that cost you Doom, will it?
It will, and I just brought it down to 5.
Okay. So, okay, here comes with the spear.
Okay.
See, I've changed the colour of the dice now. Oh, damn it, I keep rolling the damage. I'm sorry.
That's no
I'm getting
problem.
all excited. There we go, let's try that.
So it's a D1 for you. So you got a success. You've got a hit. So I gotta try to at least get one more momentum than what you've got.
Right, but no, you need 2 because he has reach.
No, that's only on the. It's not for attacking. It's only for being defending against.
Ah, okay.
But aren't you defending from his attack?
No, if I was attacking him, if the person with
It's
the high,
harder.
if I'm attacking someone with higher reach, it's harder for me to attack them.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because you're defending. You're right. You're not trying to push in on his face.
Exactly.
You're just trying to deflect it.
That's right.
That makes sense.
So I am going to. I'm not going to roll any extra dice. I'm just going to roll 2 dice here. So I'll roll, and I got 4 successes.
Yeah, Jesus. There
So,
he's climbing back up on the doom.
Ding.
so that gives me a total of 3 momentum. All right. So this is what I'm going to. This is called a dirty trick. Okay. This is a horrible trick. Because I got
You're gonna attack again.
because I got 3 extra momentum, I'm going to do a swift action. So that's going to
Yeah.
cost me 2 doom to do that.
Oh
That allows
man.
me to attack you a second time. Uh, did you want to parry this attack?
Yes, please.
All right, so it's going to cost you 2 now because this is your second parry this round.
No, because he had a. Oh, that's right. He had that spike
Yeah,
shield. Never mind.
he went
Oh,
first. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I will do that.
Okay,
Why is the attack a swift action though?
because
Uh,
because where I got the roll and the defense with because you missed and that's it. That's it. That's all you can do, right?
uh
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so you attacked. Um, you can if you move
Oh,
away, I can get a free attack anyway. You know what I mean?
sorry. Yeah, I understand now. I'm just looking at the momentum spend. Yeah, I get it.
But it's going to be a little bit harder for me to attack because it's a difficulty 2 for me to do this. Plus, you have a spear, I do not. Right? So it's now gone up for a D2 to a D3. It's getting harder for me.
yeah. I wouldn't drop him any more doom just because you've still got armor and a shield. So I mean, have you been hit even before?
No,
No,
he's
I'll be fine.
Okay, because you also have the ability to lose a piece of armor to keep him from wounding you. So I think you're okay, man. I wouldn't go crazy giving him a bunch of doom to try to stop it.
Yeah, I'll do a parry though. I think I'll try one
Yeah,
parry.
yeah. Try to parry, but I mean, don't give
Yeah,
him any
no big
extra by
bonus.
bonus dying. That's what I was getting at. I don't think anyway. I guess you can do it whatever you
Okay.
feel.
well. I'll roll the dice first, and then you can decide what you're going to do. So
All
I'm
right.
going to spend a full out attack, and I'm going to have a total of 5 dice total.
Mhm.
And I'm going to roll my dice, and I only got a hit. So you only need to get at least 1 momentum. So if you roll 2 successes, you've defended it.
Now, if I rolled a bunch of successes and got 2 momentum over, which would enable me to buy a swift action, could I attack him back?
Absolutely.
I could. Oh god. So this could keep going for a while, could it?
You can only do 1 swift action per round.
Ah, okay, all right, yeah, but I could get my return. So okay, check this out then. You.
They actually have some skills that can help with that if you're interested. That actually make it to where you could do weird stuff. Like was it? There's a parry one called rep, rep, rep,
Yeah, repost.
Repose, yeah, and I
Cool.
could just see you having a good skill with that talent. Woo.
Yeah.
So you actually defended that with no momentum, and I can't. Is more than a tie, so I can't do anything against it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right. So that is the end of the round. Momentum's already at 0, so it doesn't go down any further.
Check out your doom. You've not got much doom.
No, my doom is getting low.
Vitamir, why don't you try to take the initiative and attack this time? Because
Yeah.
he's going to have to spend doom to try to stop you to go before us. So go ahead and take your turn and see if you can kill him. And
Okay.
if not, we'll pile in on him next. I'll go next.
All right. I'll give him a stab, a straight stab.
Okay, I'm going to
Oh,
try
I
and
keep
defend that.
doing that.
I'm going to try to defend anyway.
Okay. Well, I only got one success, so
Let's see. So you only got 1 success. So I got to spend 1 to parry that. And I'm just going to roll my 2 dice. See what happens. So I have 2 successes, so I actually get a momentum. And I'm going to put that into the pool.
Okay, so essentially that parry ended up being free because you did it quite well. Okay, I get it.
Exactly, yep.
All right, so it's my turn, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna use this and swing.
Before you do, actually, no, you go ahead. You go right ahead. I got something planned. You go ahead. You do what you want to do. Tell me what you're doing.
Now, doesn't that give me an automatic 2?
It counts as 1 dice being added. That's a 1. So
Okay.
so technically, right now, if you're you're going to do a melee attack, right?
Right.
So technically, right now, you got 2 successes.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to do to you. As you're swinging your sword, you feel underneath your feet a section of floor give away. And it shakes and it rattles. And it's going to
You have
make...
to spend Doom to do that to me?
Well, that's what I'm about to do.
Oh, okay.
And so your difficulty level, because of the sifting sands...
I thought that was for complications.
Oh,
do that, not...
that just makes it instant. I can spend Doom whenever I want. And I'm going to make your difficulty go from a difficulty 1 up to a difficulty 2 because of the shifting sands underneath your feet. So it's a D2 for you.
Okay. And so now I've got, and I still succeeded, and now here's my roll.
Okay.
So I've got.
Oh!
You gotta be effing me! How in the
Oh
world?
my god.
Oh my! That is just so typical. But I still got 2 successes.
You did. You got 2 successes. So I'm going to.
Okay, now just pin him with some arrows next, because I burned all his Doom for him, dude.
Okay,
Jeez,
so
I can't believe that.
you've rolled 2 complications. So that's either 4 Doom or something bad can happen to you.
Oh, that's right. You do have that option, don't you?
Yeah. So first of all, I am going to try and parry that. So I'm going to spend my Doom now just to let you know that I'm going to try it. So
Yeah, he's down to only 1.
All right, because I could take technically 4, but I'm going to have something fun happen. I'm going to spend 1 Doom. Let's see.
On any other time, no, I had to roll
That's
it right
excellent.
then and
Double 20s.
there. That's when the dice really hate you, just so y'all know, guys.
I'm going to spend all 4 of these extra Doom. And this Doom is going to represent that as you're about to swing and you try to connect with the saber-toothed tiger, the arena floor kind of gives way, and your 2 legs actually fall through the floor, and you actually get yourself wedged into the floor of the arena. And your feet are dangling underneath the arena floor, and the other half of it is above.
I've had that happen to me when I was trying to work up in my attic. I put my feet through the ceiling. Almost killed myself.
So I am going to enforce upon you the grapple complication of a grappling 4.
All right, I'm gonna give you 1 Doom to be out of it.
No.
Right?
If in this case you can't. You can't spend Doom. We did that wrong last night. You can't spend Doom to get out of a grapple.
Oh, so what do I gotta do? Make like a brawn check next turn?
Your next roll is going to be a difficulty 4, and you can either do an acrobatic or a brawn check to get out of it.
All right, I'll do acrobatic. But okay.
All right, so you're technically as you're swinging. All right, you actually fall through the arena floor, and you're kind of stuck.
I still hit him though.
You did. He's going to try and He's going to try to dodge out of it now.
Okay.
So
you
he's.
only have 1 Doom, so that's your.
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm going down to 0 Doom here now.
All right. So since I have. All right, let's make this count. If I made a fool of myself and I'm stuck, hopefully I can at least kill him.
Can anyone assist him?
Not in this case. He's
How
because the
does that
dice are
work?
Not
already been
usually on
rolled, right?
swings, I don't think.
Yeah, not
But
in this case.
normal other skills, we definitely can. Like my acrobatics. No, how would he assist? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, pulling
Can I
free
do? Can I spend
from
a
the
fortune to improve my damage roll, or is that not possible? I
Well,
don't know. I
I
was
gotta
just
try to
asking.
I'm gonna try and parry it now,
Oh, okay.
right? And see what happens. So, you technically have. Uh, it's funny. You have a success really with 2 momentum
Right.
technically right now. So I'm gonna see if I can
Yeah.
beat that. I need at least 4 successes to do this. So you actually hit with 1 momentum.
Okay. So I can use that for reroll if I need. So if I wanted to use a fortune point, is there any point in using that for damage rolls?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'll bring it up. Fortune
All right.
points,
Then
you can do a lot more with that. So
here's my
wow,
roll,
you can
and there's
spend.
only one to reroll.
Now here's the thing, and Bill mentioned this earlier. You can spend one dice to re-roll all your damage dice, right? You may end up getting a 4 or a 3 again and not do any extra damage. Or you can spend your 1 momentum to add 1 point of damage. And that would be enough to kill it.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
So, in my imagination, I see Gavril pick up his sword and he starts chugging towards and dives at the tiger, swinging the sword, and he comes down across the back of the saber-toothed tiger with the sword, and it cleaves deeply into the spine.
And
The
it hits
sword
the
goes
floor
down
too.
through, but the momentum and the force behind it cause the arena floor to give way underneath him, and you actually get yourself wedged into the floor, and the corpse of the tiger kind of falls over on top of you, spilling its guts all over you.
Hey, a little
Well
help?
done.
Can I get a little help?
Cool.
You see my hands waving, and I'm doing like a football cheer victory pose. Woo-hoo! As I'm all bloodied and guts, all you see is 2 pieces of the tiger in my hands as I'm trying to wave and say. And then really, if you listen closely, you'll hear me saying, "Help! Can I get some help?" But it looks like I'm cheering. But in real life, I'm saying, "Help! I need help getting out of this."
Fantastic.
And that would conclude the first round of the arena combat.
That was awesome.
God, the first round. Oh crap.
Now, obviously, Bill, I know that you're still trying to figure it out, and it seems kind of slow, but if once your players progress and you get into it, people know what they're going to do beforehand, and it becomes really fast.
Yeah, I can see that actually when everyone's sort of aware of what all the options are for the momentum spends and things, and yeah, you've done it a bit. I can see it flowing a lot sort of quicker. That was
Also, if
awesome. That
you
was Jolly. Thanks very much.
also if you've made your character with the way you kind of want, you'll have your talents set up, and you for what kind of actions you know you're wanting to do, and that also makes them sort of fit closely with your attacks. Where our talents were kind of very all out there, or at least mine were. So none of my talents really helped me at all for my attacks, but I had one that helped a little bit with my parry, which is the deflection. I think that was the only one.
Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, it kind of, for example, you knew your guy when you looked at his talents, you knew he was ranged. So you tried to get the bow and you made use of your talents. I didn't have any option in that. My guy is literally, it looks like a muscle boulder thrower, you know, because I mean he's got might and he's got a strong back, but those don't really help with attacks or defenses. Do you see what I'm getting? So if you were building your character and you know you want to do certain types of attacks better than others, then that's where you would try to place your talents or defends or skills or whatever. Because you know, I noticed that having one kind of weapon when your guy was kind of geared another way probably wasn't the best thing for me.
It all worked out. We survived, and your killer of that saber-tooth tiger at the end there—that was fantastic.
So
Really
obviously
good.
Swim in the
the
blood.
the gladiators turn around and they are successful, and you hear the crowds yell and scream your names, and they throw laurels in your directions. Um, Flowers and wreaths all coming down at you. You've obviously got the crowd behind you, and you end up being successful, and you can continue on into the King's tournament.
Do we
Into
win our freedom?
that would get you. You have to get into round two for that one.
Crap.
And while I'd love to do round two, I'm sort of pushing 2 a.m. here, so I'm a bit knackered. So I'll probably bow out for that. But
Oh, yeah, no, I
thanks
have no
ever so
intentions of
much,
doing
Jolly.
round
It
two
was really
tonight,
useful.
but
Yeah. Thank you for the game, man, Jolly. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody.
Thanks very much. That really was a lot of fun. Cheers.
oh, no problem,
Yeah.
guys. And like I said, I'm always looking for my way. My schedule is going to be working. Like I work away for 3 weeks at a time, and then I'm home for 3 weeks. So on my weekends, every Saturday, I run my standard campaign, which now got 7 players. So I'm not adding any more to that one. But on Sundays, I plan on doing just simple, fun one shots. So uh, I'm probably going to do those twice while I'm home. So on 2 Saturdays, 2 Sundays that I'm home. So it'd be around this time slot. So if you guys were ever interested and you wanted to try playing, then this is what I plan on doing, right? So if you guys wanted to just have like a standard one-shot game, just let me know and we'll work something out.
It's perfect time for me, so I'd love to join again if you have me.
Absolutely, for sure.
Brilliant.
Awesome. I'd love to play. I'll have to see how it sort of pans out on the day. Because I'm off work at the moment, which means that I could do this tonight. But I'll have to see when it falls for me in future.
Sounds good.
But definitely, in theory, I'd love to because that was loads of fun.
Well, I hope, like I said, like I know, Bill, you're just trying to figure it out and see what it's actually like. So I hope that sounds good. I hope that's what that is, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So
It's really good.
It does
Yeah.
look like a steep learning curve, but I'm sure we'll get the hang of it soon enough.
it is. It is a steep learning curve, but like I said, once you learn it, it's a fun game. Like it's just a lot of different things you can do, and with the different like I only played a Conan game of this, but there's Infinity and there's um,
Oh, there's a Star Wars one, and
oh yeah, that's right. The Star Trek is one,
sorry, Star Trek. Yeah,
and you got John Carter of Mars coming out now, and you also have Mutant Chronicles that are out. So
and
there's
Mythos or something.
which one?
I think it's called Mythos or something like. I think that's also 2D20.
Is it? I don't know. I haven't played that one, but yeah. So there's a lot of these 2D20 systems out there, and they're growing, and I really do enjoy it. It's a little bit more crunchy.
But if there's Conan, why would you play anything else?
Exactly. Why do you need anything else if you got Conan? So, but anyway, yeah. So that's it. So Jim, Peter, sorry. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun.
Thanks very much, guys. Good to meet you, and see you soon, or hear
Uh,
from you soon.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Thanks for playing. Hey, Jolly, can you hang out
Likewise.
just for a second?
No problem. I'm just gonna close off my stream, so I'll be right back. 1 second.
All right.
All right. No,